Welcome everybody to this first annual general meeting of Brixton Energy Solar 1. Let's just begin, we'll just introduce ourselves and that'll be helpful. So, on the right.
I'm Bridget Clark and I've been working with accounts treasurer.
I'm Will Anderson, one of the directors.
I'm Afshin Rashid.
Go on, tell us who you are.
I'm a Lambert's Community Energy Officer and I've been chairing the Brixton Energy projects and Brixton Energy Solar 1 and 2 and 3. That's my role.
I'm Mark Van Terra and I'm the Director for Brixton Energy Solar 1.
I'm Drake Dino and I'm the Director for Brixton Energy Solar 1.
So thank you very much for coming. You've all got an agenda in the papers, I hope. The agenda is actually missing some of the most crucial items for an annual general meeting, which we're going to slip in after the financial report, which is basically the approval of the accounts and appointment of the directors. But I hope we'll cover everything, and hopefully in a fairly short time. So I'm going to give a kind of short introduction and description based on the director's report. Bridget will say a few words about the accounts. We'll then do the kind of formal business, approving the accounts and reappointing the directors. And we will then just open it up and have a conversation with you. But if you do have questions as we go along, then just interrupt. It's fine. There's enough of us here, and it's all very informal. Okay. Just a little bit of an introduction. I mean, it's great to be here a year on, and to be able to say, we've got a year's generation from the power station which we've invested in. We've generated enough in order to provide for a 3% dividend to our investors. We've got a fantastic kind of windfall which we're able to put towards community energy efficiency projects. And you, the pioneers of Brixton Energy Solar 1, have started a process which has led to other projects. Brixton Energy Solar 2, which is complete. Solar 3, which we're currently raising money for, and a wider process of change here and hopefully across London. So it's pretty good to be in this position, given that 18 months ago, when we were still struggling to put this whole thing together, and the government was cutting the feed-in tariff very dramatically, it looked like the whole thing might be a non-starter altogether. So we've come a long way, and it's great to be in this really quite positive position. I just want to go back a bit, just in case you're not aware of the background, just to give you a little bit of background and context, because Brixton Energy Solar 1 is, as I'm sure as you're aware, a cooperative which is just responsible for solar panels on Elmore House. But this cooperative organisation is part of a bigger process of change. Brixton Energy Solar 1 is a product, if you like, of Brixton Energy, which is a kind of community group which is itself part of the broader Transition Town Brixton process. Brixton Energy has been around for quite a long time, and it was that group which kind of put together the whole programme which led to the creation of Brixton Energy Solar 1 and the particular model, the cooperative model, and all the kind of financial modelling that we had to do. So Brixton Energy still exists. It's still a kind of broader group of people who are very involved in developing new projects. And we have been supported, Brixton Energy has been supported very much by Lambeth Council, by Afshin in particular. And so we've had, the costs which this particular cooperative has had to bear have been relatively small, because there's been a broader process of support which has enabled this to happen. And that broader process of support has included, particularly, the support of Lambeth Council, but also the support of thousands of volunteers, but thousands of volunteer hours, and lots of people have put their time into this process. Obviously, you as shareholders have made it happen. Other people who have been important to us are Simmons & Simmons, lawyers who've given us a lot of good work, and Southern Solar, our installers, who've been really crucial to making it happen practically on the roofs of the Loughborough estate. So I kind of want to begin just by acknowledging the role of all those people and all those organisations in making this happen. Since that all began, there's now a kind of broad process coming out of Brixton Energy. There's a new organisation called Repowering, sometimes described as Repowering London, which is a new cooperative which has specifically been set up with directors drawn from Brixton Energy, the wider Brixton Energy group, to kind of take the model which has been successful here and to try and take it elsewhere, not just in Lambeth and Brixton, but in other parts of London and potentially beyond. So repowering is now another vehicle which will both provide support to Brixton Energy Solar 1, but also hopefully take the model and replicate it in other places. And repowering is already talking to other councils about doing that. So, as I say, this is very much the beginning of the process, and it's fantastic it's worked because it's meant that other things can happen elsewhere. So that's the kind of the big picture. I just want to kind of go back to the kind of detail of what this particular cooperative is about. I mean, the goals, which I can summarise in the director's report, the goals of the cooperative are about A, generating renewable energy, B, creating a surplus in order to support wider community energy efficiency projects, C, engaging with the local community as stakeholders, and also inspiring others, being a kind of an exemplar to others, both locally and more broadly. And we've done pretty well in our first year on all of those. What exactly? Let me just quote that figure actually about exactly how much we've generated. You can get these numbers in the director's report. I've given you the link to the Southern Solar log. So at any time, if you want to see how much your solar panels are generating, you can go on the website. You can see what they're generating, what they've generated today, or in the last month, or in the last year. So you can always see practically what they're doing. On a day like this, you'll see a very kind of spiky chart. Sun comes out and goes in again. On a nice sunny day, you'll see a lovely arch of generation. So it's great that we're able to see exactly what we're generating and therefore what we're what we're earning as well.
You can also follow it on Twitter. We've got an account set up so you can get daily feeds of how much we're generating. It's BES generation.
Yes. Great. So in our first year, although we only had 9 months in the first year because we started on March the 31st, we generated 25,240 kilowatt hours or 25.2 megawatt hours of electricity, which isn't bad. As I say in the report, the average UK domestic energy consumption is only 3,300 kilowatt hours, so that's about 7 average houses. Although the flats around here you'd expect to generate a lot less than that because that's the average UK consumption. So for a smaller property, you'd expect to get many more out of that. So we've achieved that, and that's been very successful. We haven't had any problems with the panels. The great thing about photovoltaics is that they do tend to be rather reliable once they're up there. They don't have many moving parts. They tend to do the job, and they have indeed been doing the job. So that's great news. No problems, working well. We are very much a community-based organisation, and so engaging with the local community has been very much part of what we've been doing, and that meant doing a lot of work here with the residents of Elmore House and more broadly with the community groups based here to ensure that what we were doing, that we had support in the Loughborough estate for this project, and we also, one of the local people on the estate who was unemployed at the time got very involved in the installation of panels and is now actually employed partly through that work. So that's been a great result, certainly for him. And we're taking that model of trying to engage local people through employment and training to the new Brixton Energy Solar project, as for us it's a very kind of key outcome. And as I said, we've been inspiring others. There are more Brixton Energy Solar projects. We've been kind of putting the word out quite strongly about what we've achieved here. So much so we had the Secretary of State down on the roof the other day. So that's quite good going in terms of PR and hopefully in terms of inspiring other people. So we obviously want to build on that, and a lot of that is what repowering will be doing rather than us in particular, other than Brixton Energy Solar 1. But nonetheless, we have been integral to making that happen. So that's very important. The one thing we haven't done anything of yet is the kind of energy efficiency work because we haven't had the money. Now, we are very fortunate in that because we were doing this work on this estate at the time in which the Community Energy Saving Programme was taking place, we have had this kind of windfall, which we've only just received, which we're proposing to put as a kind of front-loading figure to the Community Energy Efficiency Fund. Now, we don't yet have any proposals about exactly what we'll be doing that, because we want to basically consult with local people about what we should be doing. The kind of work we've done in the past, which is kind of where we'll be starting with, is things like energy audits for people in their homes, which is a great place for individual households to start, draft busting sessions, workshops. We've done solar panel making workshops. So there's a range of things we've already done elsewhere, which we'd hope to replicate and do more of here. But we can't actually say precisely what we'll be doing yet. We do need to talk more widely with local people on the estate about that. But we hope that you'll support our proposal that that money, because it's come from an energy efficiency programme, an energy saving programme, we want to put it into the energy efficiency fund. We feel that's a kind of great way of kind of front-loading that part of the work which we always said we would do, because otherwise the money going to that is going to be relatively small. But we can do that at the same time as providing you with a dividend of 3%, which is the kind of maximum we ever anticipated we would pay. So, you know, that's a pretty good result, I think, and I hope you'll support that, the way we're presenting how we want to use the funds this year. I mean, most of our income, other than the energy saving income, comes from the feed-in tariff. We have had one slight problem this year that we haven't been able to get any money from the export of electricity. That's paid at a much lower rate. It's like 3p compared to 15p. But that is something we're hoping to address, and and this is a problem many community groups have had. It's much harder to get the export meter registered, but we're nearly there. So we're hoping that that will be a figure in the accounts for next year.